Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Kris, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is not working as she took some time off, but is now wanting to jump back into practice. She's wanting to start a new practice where she will focus on weight loss, IV therapy, and hormone replacement therapy. She would also like to start functional medicine at some point. She is needing help with how to work smarter, not harder, general startup advice, and how to navigate opportunities that are presenting themselves. Hey, Kris, how are you?
Good. How are you, Justin?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for hopping on here. So let's go ahead and get started. So tell us about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and kind of the things you've been doing, and where you want to go in the future.
So I've been a nurse practitioner for 7.5 years. I had my own clinic for about 5, doing BHRT and functional medicine. Had to close the clinic due to a health crisis. And so I've been navigating through that for the last 2 years. I did a little bit of study, tried to put together a pilot study, and working on some research, and then just preparing for this next journey into starting my new clinic, doing functional medicine, but probably starting with the weight loss as well as the IVs.
Okay. So where are you at in the startup process then?
So we've just been brainstorming. The interesting thing is that I had put my resume out on Indeed, and I got calls from chiropractors asking me to come in, work with them, and start IV clinics. So my partner and I that are going to go into business together, her and I, we were thinking about maybe doing a consulting type thing, as well as having our own home clinic, with chiropractors.
Gotcha. Okay. So what are you wanting to focus on then? Are you wanting to focus more on a consulting business where you help chiropractors start IV businesses, or are you wanting to start a practice? Or you want to do both?
We kind of want to do both.
Okay. Do you have the energy to do both?
Well,
they're two vastly different businesses.
Yes. So I think I have the energy because my friend that I'm starting this clinic with, she is great at the administrative stuff. That's what stresses me out. I don't mind seeing patients, doing IVs, or any of that. It's the administrative stuff that I struggle.
Sure. So you're talking about starting 2 different businesses. Okay. Like it's going to be 2 different businesses, like 2 different LLCs, 2 different bank accounts, 2 different websites. Like they're 2 totally separate businesses. Okay. So you're going to need to navigate that. All right. Like 2 phone lines, 2 websites, 2 email accounts, 2, you know what I mean? It's a completely different business. So my advice for something like this, okay, is to focus on one of them right now. Doing both at the same time is it's going to spread out your resources. It's going to spread out your time. It's going to spread out your energy. It's very difficult to build two bridges at one time. It's best just to build one bridge, finish it, and then build the other. Okay.
Okay.
That's usually the better way to do it. Now, can you do two at the same time? Sure, you can. Okay. But your chances of success go down. All right.
Okay.
One thing I wish I would have done. Okay. This is one of my regrets as a business owner is I wish I would have focused in on one thing instead of having my focuses on multiple things at one time. When I was able to focus in on one thing, I was able to grow that one thing exponentially faster than I was when my energies were spread out amongst multiple businesses.
Okay.
Okay. And that's me, mid-30s, high energy on testosterone. Okay. So like, yeah. So I really think it's best to just do one thing at a time. Yeah. If you want to do both, fine. But focus your energies on the one that's going to be more profitable than the other. So,
Okay.
yeah, you know what I mean? Consulting with chiropractors versus having your own practice, which one's going to be more profitable? You know, I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, the chiropractor I think could be profitable, or you can make a hell of a lot more money in your weight loss clinic. It really just, you know, you're not really going to know until you kind of dive into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, what are your thoughts?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think we just have to decide which way we want to go. So
Right.
one of the things you think about is I'm kind of skipping over my questions here, but I want to go back to asking you some business questions, but really quick, the consulting idea. What I like about it is that it could be multiple streams of income for us. And we would be helping a lot of practitioners, not just chiropractors. There's other doctors out there that want to start this too. And so, I think about that as being a potentially great opportunity. And I would still be seeing patients because the goal would be if we got in there, we would help them with hiring an RN and hiring a nurse practitioner to take over what we're doing. And then we're just left to be consulting for them. I mean, that's the idea that we had.
So you would go in and you start the IV clinic for them and hire the staff, and then they just take it over.
Yes, but there'd be more to it. We would set up, all of the accounts. So it wouldn't be just IV therapies. It would probably be the weight loss and possibly functional medicine.
So, okay. So you're going to be consulting on how to doing this, but you haven't really started one yet.
Exactly.
So how do you know exactly the things that they're going to be going through, the problems that are going to arise, the things that they really truly need to consider without you doing it first?
Right. And that's why we were thinking what might be a better idea is to go into the chiropractic office, rent space, start the IV clinic there. And
yeah, you need to do it first.
Our own.
Yeah. I would highly advise you do this yourself first. I mean, just jumping into it and consulting with people and you don't even own one or haven't really done it. Like, that'd be like me starting a consulting business for plumbers. I don't know, have no clue what the hell to do. You have a general idea, but yeah. I don't think it'd be a good idea. The thing about consulting in general, okay, is that you have to show that you know what you're talking about. People just aren't going to just randomly just call you up to have you start, okay? Just because you have a website and, call me to do this. Like, you have to show the world that you know your shit, basically, okay? So, yeah, I feel like that you might be diving into it prematurely right now. I feel like that this would be something that you could probably do a year or two from now, after you've really gotten your feet wet, you've gone through the trials and tribulations of it all, you truly understand how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now we have two chiropractors, one that wants us to rent space from him, which we were thinking about setting up our clinic there, but it's a very small section. The other one wants to actually hire us to come in there and work for him. The one that wants us to work for him, he's open to just doing it a couple days a week. So what are your thoughts about us starting that way, where we have one clinic base and the other one we work for him?
So this is going to be for IV infusion?
Yes.
Okay, just IV infusion.
Infusion and
IV infusion and weight loss?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, first, I would never partner with a chiropractor and they just like pay you. Like, chiropractor has no liability here. You know, all the liability falls on you. It doesn't fall on that chiropractor. Okay.
Okay.
A chiropractor can't even order a Tylenol. Okay.
All right.
They can't prescribe Tylenol. They can't prescribe an IV bag. They can't do any of that. All right. So all the liability falls on you. It does not fall on them. So that's why I say screw partnering with chiropractors, because it's your ass at the end of the day. So therefore you should be the one making the money, not them. So be very careful when you're navigating situations like this, because at the end of the day, it's you, not them. Okay. So you should be getting paid the majority of the money, at least 80, 90%. They're not doing anything other than referring people to you.
Right.
Right. That's all they're doing. They're a referral source, nothing more. So, you know, I don't think they deserve to get paid that much money for providing you a room to do it in, you know? So navigate this very carefully. Sure, it sounds like a good opportunity, but be cautious about it, because, you know, you're the one putting the work in. You're the one doing it. You should be the one paid fairly for it, you know? So I would highly advise starting your own thing. And then, yeah, you could contract with chiropractors to provide these services in their practice. You could do that as a model. You bill the clients, and, you know, you can pay the chiropractor referral fee for, you know, being in there and providing this additional service for them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, I don't want to rain on your parade or anything about it. I hate seeing nurse practitioners get taken advantage of by chiropractors. It happens all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chiropractors are businessmen. Like, they're business people. A lot of chiropractor school is business stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I hate to say it, but I think a lot of what chiropractors do is complete bullshit,
Okay.
in my opinion. You know, like, come on, you're really going to cure someone's IBS with manipulate? Come on, you know? Yeah, right. So just keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think a separate building is better than to rent space out of a chiropractor office?
No. You can rent space out of there. Okay. You know, you're basically subleasing space in someone else's business, but you're bringing your business into their business. They do not have any kind of control over finances, payments, nothing. You're paying
Right.
them rent. That's all you're doing.
Okay. And they have a lot of patients. So
Sure.
it would that was one of the things that we thought was appealing to
Yeah,
rent.
I was gonna say, give them 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not even they're just asking for rent.
Oh, but if that's all they're asking for is rent, that's a good opportunity. Now that's a good opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, all the patients are there. Yeah, you know, and you'll bring in new patients that will then hopefully go over to the chiropractor. It's going to be a win-win situation for everybody.
Right. And that's what we were thinking. And our thought was also to consider the after hours. There's not a lot of places that do after hours. So, you know, I thought that might be a good idea. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always a great idea to offer services, you know, outside of normal hours. I think that's a really good idea. It just provides more value to people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's definitely a good idea.
Okay. And then let's see what else we had. As far as the business setup, do you think 8,000 between the two of us in our business account is a good startup?
8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's plenty. I don't really think you need more than that, especially if you're just renting a space in someone else's office, I mean, this should be a pretty cheap startup for you.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like really cheap. So I think yeah. I think that's plenty of money. Um, if you were going to open up your own brick and mortar space, let's say you were gonna rent a place and furnish it and that kind of a thing, then I think closer to $10,000 is a safer number. Okay, but
Okay.
I think 8,000 is plenty. I don't think you'll need more than that. Majority of your money's going to go into starting a website, forming an LLC, all that kind of crap's cheap. Getting a website, you're going to spend $1,500 to $2,000 on a good website. Okay. The initial supply shouldn't be more than $3,000 or $4,000, and then you're gonna have to buy a couple little odds and ends stuff, like maybe like a laptop or an examination chair, some IV poles and stuff like that. So $8,000 should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
How big of a space is this?
The space he has it's quite small. It can probably only fit 3 IV chairs, and then there's another room next to it that we would keep the refrigerator and if we need a hood, and then a consulting desk for me to see patients. It's kind of small, not very big.
Okay. So what's the competition like in your area for this kind of stuff?
Well, there's nobody over here. He's like right around the corner from my house, and it's quite a affluent area. So there's nobody over there. In fact, he was asking me about hormone replacement therapy because there's no one. So within a probably 25-mile radius, there's nobody.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, you're sitting on a gold mine. Um, so let's just talk about the profitability of these services first. Okay. The most profitable services you're going to offer are going to be weight loss and hormone replacement therapy. Okay. You could probably make a little bit more with weight loss compared to hormone replacement therapy, but they should be close. All right. Then IV therapy will lag behind pretty significantly. Okay. IV therapy is profitable, but it is not as profitable as other services. The reason being is because of the time commitment it takes for IV therapy. Now, if you utilize the work of others, if you delegate tasks to other people, like an RN, for example, when you have people working for you, making you money, then it can be profitable, but it's still not going to be as profitable as hormone replacement therapy or weight loss. And like I said, the reason being is because of the time investment. So just do an IV on someone, you're going to invest an hour of time, okay, at least. Vital signs before and after, right? Mixing the bag, ordering the supplies, organizing all this stuff, infusing the infusion itself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. It's going to be an hour investment per patient. Sure, you can do a few patients at a time. Okay. But it's laborsome. All right.
Yeah.
When you compare to weight loss or hormone replacement therapy, the time investment's minimal and you make more money. A weight loss patient, you'll see them for, let's say, 1 hour the first month. Then you follow up with them for 15 minutes every month after that. You're making profit $200, $250 a month off these people. And it takes 15 minutes of your time and it's a phone call. Compared to an IV where it takes an hour and you might make a profit of $100, $150. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So look at it from a profitability standpoint and don't look at it just from the numbers. Don't look at it just as the revenue, but look at the time investment into it as well. That's critically important. Sure, you can make a lot of money doing aesthetics and doing all these procedures and stuff, but the time investment involved is tremendous compared to something else that doesn't require that much of your time. So like, what do you want? We all want more time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So So keep this in mind as you're providing the services in here. You know what I mean? Do IV infusion. It's a great add-on service, but don't put all your eggs in that IV basket.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would focus more on the weight loss and the hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah, I visited a weight loss clinic and they were just packed. I mean, that's
Packed.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, every minutes they would see someone. So
Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Yeah, like I know multiple nurse practitioners who make $150,000 a month doing weight loss and hormone replacement therapy. I
oh
don't
my,
know any nurse practitioners that make $150,000 a month doing IV therapy alone.
wow. That's like
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah. Yeah. So just keep this in mind. IV therapy is great if you can delegate the work to others. If you have an RN doing it all and all you got to do is sign up on an order or something, sure. There's no time investment in that.
Right. And
Right.
you can actually do standing orders for IVs and injectables, right?
Correct. Yeah. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and the other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. Injectables are great. I don't do very many IVs anymore. I mostly just do injectables, like a vitamin injection. Here's your NAD injection. Here's your B complex injection. Takes us 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. And you find that NAD works well as an injection?
Oh yeah. I've never had a single patient that didn't like NAD.
Wonderful. Do you do glutathione as well?
We do, not much, but we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to keep my injection menu pretty simple for the most part. I like to do things that truly affect the patient, like they feel it. B complex, magnesium, NAD plus, B12, vitamin D. That's, to be honest with you, that's the bulk of what we do for injections.
Okay. So Justin, it might be a good idea for me to set up a little clinic space in both of these chiropractors' offices then.
Yeah, I think so. These patients are coming in, you're there doing hormone replacement therapy and weight loss. I mean, they're going to see that, vitamin injections and stuff. Yeah. I mean, those patients are they're going to bite on that.
Okay. And even if I just rent, like 2 days a week from each space.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be seeing patients 5 days a week.
Right. Thank you so much. You were a great help with that.
Yeah, for sure. So focus on weight loss, focus on hormone replacement therapy, and then focus on maybe just the vitamin injections. Do the IVs, but I would have a limited menu of it. Don't spend a lot of money on buying the ingredients necessary for all the infusions that we go over in our, in the course. Don't do that. That's total overkill. All right.
Or what about that hood?
Sorry, what was that?
What about the hood?
Oh, the hood, that's state dependent, but if you want to be USP compliant, you need the hood. Now, if you're only mixing 3 ingredients, you don't. So,
right.
Only mix 3 ingredients. Keep it simple.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to fool with a hood and all this sterile compounding nonsense. I don't want to fool with it. It complicates my business.
Yes.
Yeah. Why would you want to complicate it when you don't have to? Just mix 3 ingredients, give an IV push, and call it a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And that you can give an injectable too.
They give an inject, right? Exactly. And okay, so NAD plus, for example, right? I'm not going to sit there for 2 to 4 hours giving someone an NAD infusion. I'm not going to do it. I don't want someone in my office for 4 hours. I
Right.
don't, you know, like I just don't. I don't want anyone at my house for 4 hours. I don't even want a patient at my clinic for 4 hours. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just give them a vial of NAD and I'm like, give it to yourself twice a week, sub Q. Here you go. Knock yourself out. You're going to feel it just as well.
Oh, so you can give out a vial? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. You just have the Carmatic pharmacy ship it directly to the patient. Teach them how to give themselves a sub Q injection. Nothing to it. Anyone can give themselves a sub Q injection. Diabetics do it all the time with insulin.
Exactly.
Right. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, you know?
Yes. Justin, you're amazing.
I, I, I just like to try to keep things simple. You know, people complicate the stuff and it's not complicated. You don't need to complicate it. Keep it as simple as possible. Like life in general is simple and business in general is simple unless you scale some sort of business that's $100 million with 150, 200 employees. Then you're talking about some complication, but a little niche practice doesn't need to be complicated.
Right. And as we grow, we can always hire another nurse practitioner and another RN and another clinic.
Absolutely. And you should, that's how you get your time back, while making a very healthy passive income. So yeah, you should, right now I would say, don't focus too much on that right now. But,
Right.
in 6 to 12 months from now, then start wrapping your head around that. Yes. Okay. Well, let's hire another nurse practitioner, start seeing some patients for us. Let's hire an RN to give the injections and the IVs or whatever. And then you have a business that is now working for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, um,
Um,
yeah. Any other questions?
yes. So let's see here. Wait, can I start by? Okay. So with the weight loss and the IV, can I start by seeing all new patients in person and then after that do follow up telemedicine?
That's predominantly what I do. Yeah. So I usually see most of my patients in person one time. Some I don't, but the majority of them I do see one time in person. And then, 95% of the time it's a follow up. The follow up visit's done via telemed.
Okay. And then the testosterone, of course, we have to see them and inject them, correct?
No, they can inject themselves at home with a
Okay. So
vial. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Your goal is, try to have patients out of your office as much as possible. Like, it's great to have patients there. You sit there, you shoot the shit with them and talk and have a good time, whatever. I mean, that's fine. But overall, I think it's a good idea to try to have people out of your office, and that's done by, teaching them how to do the injections themselves.
Okay. And then we can follow up on telemed. Okay, perfect.
Yep, yeah, that's what I do, and I follow up most of my patients on the phone.
Oh,
You know,
good. So you need medicine.
Yeah, established patients that I've had for 2 or 3 years. Why on earth do I need to have a video chat with them?
Right. Exactly.
A phone call's fine.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. When I was doing the functional medicine and BHRT, it was very consuming, very time consuming, but I didn't mind because I love helping patients.
Sure.
But at this point in my life, I like the idea of doing, the quick visits and then the follow up with the telemedicine. Um, and as I go further, what I wanted to ask you is completely off course here. But what I'm thinking about doing is I have worked with autism, mold illness, and breast cancer, as well as detox. And I'm thinking about setting up some training type, not like what you did, but basically sort of like writing resource lists for potential patients that might not be my patients, but someone else's, but kind of how to navigate through this. Because one of the things I find is that these people deteriorate because they don't know what to do, who to call, where to go. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So for each individual thing, like autism, I navigated through that for many, many years. I feel like I have the expertise to at least give people some consulting information and put it together in such a way where I can put a price tag on it, $39. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Online.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of parents out there that are navigating an autistic child. How do how do you navigate the situation, right?
Right.
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 So yeah, now that's going to be going down more of like the coaching consulting route, right? So yeah, you could create a product, a course, or you could be a consultant to help, parents that have an autistic child on how to, how to navigate this. You could definitely do that. Um, but it's a completely separate business, right? Um,
Right.
yeah, I don't know if you've taken any of our courses before, but the course that, if you really want to dive into this online coaching consulting, for autism or people with breast cancer or whatever, or if you even want to consult with chiropractors or something like that, I would highly advise taking the coaching consulting course. I mean, I talk for, 4 to 6 hours on how to do this and how to do it right.
Okay.
So yeah, it would be money well spent if that's something that you truly want to pursue. Um, the ticket with that is to, again, you have to create a presence online, a website or something, and you have to show the world that you are the expert in that. And so if you want to do autism, you're gonna have to create YouTube videos, you're gonna have to write articles on various concerns that arise, when you have a child who does have autism. I mean, you're gonna have to show the world and provide some free value before you expect anyone to pay you for anything.
Okay. So free value, kind of like a blog type thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I really still want to help all of these people. But to be quite honest, I need to start, with the weight loss and um, the IVs because I need to watch my energy level.
Right.
And I, that when you
Yes.
write something, you just write it up once. It's like you with your IV. I did your IV course. I thought it was amazing. But, thousands and thousands of people are going to take that course and you've only had to write that once.
Right. Well, I mean,
So,
there's still, I mean, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes though, too, right? It's the customer acquisition standpoint. That's where I'm talking about with the coaching consulting stuff is providing that free value to people. You can't just create a
right,
product and expect it to sell, right?
right, you have to get your name out.
Right. And you constantly have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not just a set it and forget it kind of a thing. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just keep that in mind too. Like there's a lot of work that's involved that, uh, people just don't realize that there's quite a bit of work that goes into that.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I navigate later. One thing at a
Uh,
time.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And
Because
then,
yeah, I would say focus your energy on what it is that's in front of you right now, this IV clinic or whatever, hormone replacement therapy, and then spread your energies elsewhere.
okay, perfect. I will do that. And then, Justin, what about the PLLC or LLC? If she's going to be the administrative, she's going to manage the clinics, and I'm the nurse practitioner. I had PLLC on my last clinic, but it was just me. I didn't have any other managers or anything. Could we do a PLLC still, or would it have to be an LLC?
I don't know if a PLLC could be spread between two professionals. I'm not sure. It's going to be a state specific thing. Um, I don't know if there's a professional partnership. So instead of a PLLC, it'd be like a PP, like a professional partnership. So
Oh,
I don't know if that exists, but in general, if you're truly going to go 50-50 in with someone, then it would probably be best just to create a limited partnership. Okay.
okay.
And then both of you are, you 50-50 owners or whatever. Or you both could have two separate PLLCs or LLCs. You have an LLC, the other person has an LLC or a PLC, doesn't matter. And then you have a umbrella LLC that those two LLCs, yours and that other person's, own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds easy to do an LLC together.
Yeah, exactly. You guys could just do an LLC together and have you guys both as, partners or do a limited liability partnership too. It's the same thing, kind of.
Okay. And then what about the Wyoming LLC? Should we sign up for that as well?
Um, only if you want to protect your privacy, otherwise I wouldn't bother.
Okay, not necessary. Okay.
Yeah, if you're not really looking to protect your privacy, then who cares? Don't waste your time.
Okay. And Justin, what is your thoughts about the functional medicine and BHRT? I know that they are time consuming.
Yeah, well, I mean, the HRT is really not. Once you have the first visit should take 30 to 60 minutes. You do lab work evaluation, whatever. You follow up with the patient every 2 to 3 months. The follow up should only take 15 minutes, for most cut and dry patients. So I don't think HRT is time consuming. Functional medicine is, though. But if you have a passion for it, then, if it doesn't really feel like work, then whatever. It can be more of like that passion work in your business.
Yeah, I ended up spending a lot of time after hours doing research at home for complicated cases.
Yeah.
So I'll
So you
see how I
enjoy
get
it.
started.
Yeah. Yeah. If you enjoy it, do it. Like this consultation, this podcast I'm doing with you right now, this is like, I'm not getting paid for this, but I enjoy doing it. Right. And so if
Right.
you enjoy doing the functional medicine, then yeah, by all means do it, but if that ends up being the predominant service in your practice and you're booked 5 days a week doing hour and a half long functional medicine consultations with patients all the time, is that going to burn you out? Probably burn me out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So balance. You just gotta balance it. Like I couldn't do these podcasts. I couldn't do 4 or 5 of these a day, 5 days a week. I would go insane.
Yes.
I love talking to people. I love doing this, but I only want to do it a few times a week. I couldn't do this all the time. Right. So you just got to find that balance.
Right. So last question for you. With the office rental, you think it's a good idea for us to opt to rent office space out of the chiropractor's office? We could maybe negotiate a lower rent if we give them a percentage since they're going to send us the patients. What do you think of
You
that?
Yeah, you could, but why give someone more money than that they don't deserve? I mean, how much is the rent?
900 for two small room.
I just pay the 900 and call it a day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's really not that much. I mean, you're talking that's a couple patients, you know, that's
Yes.
3 or 4 patients, a month. That covers that. I would do that versus giving them a percentage because I'll tell you what'll happen is you'll start getting busy, and then you'll end up paying them thousands of dollars a month as the percentage is going to piss you off.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So flat rate, pay them every month, call it a day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
any other questions? Any other concerns?
I can't think of anything else that was so very helpful. I really appreciate your help.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. So I just want you to just keep in mind the opportunities. Okay. You have a lot of opportunities in front of you. You really do. All right. Um, Navigate those opportunities very, very carefully. Look at the other people's motive. Okay. The people who are presenting you the opportunity, what's their motive? All right. Is it a good motive or is it more of a selfish, are they motivated for a selfish reason? Same thing with partnerships too. What are their motivations? Navigate that carefully as well. And then the opportunities that you have in terms of all these businesses that are being presented to you here, in your mind and out in the reality of it too. Uh, Spread your energies out carefully here. What opportunity is going to provide you the most upside? Okay. That's what you need to focus on. Like I realized quickly that, doing medical cannabis evaluations, while it was great money, the opportunity though wasn't as great as really doubling down on my men's health clinic or doubling down on Elite NP. So I took my energies away from medical cannabis and focused more on those other things, right? Because the opportunity, the upside was much greater there compared to the medical cannabis business, for example. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
right. So the upside here for you is that starting this practice, will probably be the fastest way for you to make, pretty good money. So I'd say that's probably your biggest opportunity. But from a time investment standpoint, a little bit later, a year or two from now, maybe doing the autism consulting or creating a course for autism or whatever. Maybe that'll be something that will be, maybe there'll be a little bit more upside to that once your business goes on autopilot, for example. So you're gonna have to just always weigh the upsides of the opportunities and then always, weigh the downsides as well. So just keep this in mind as you're juggling a lot of things, going on in your life.
Yes. Thank you
So,
so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So listen, I like the end the episode with you asking me a question. So, just a question that you might have had for me, a personal question or a curiosity.
How do you balance all of this?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult and it changes too. There's no balance, you set it, forget it kind of a thing. I mean, life is constantly evolving, right? So your focuses are always changing. 2 years ago, my balance was a lot different than it is now, right? Now I'm having to balance, an 11-month-old, right?
Oh,
So,
wow.
right. Yeah, and maybe a second one, a year from now or something. So like it's constantly changing, right? And so I think how I balance it the most is, or how I balance it just in general is that I focus in on what's the most important thing to me right now in the moment. And from a business standpoint, it's, revenue and fulfillment, right? What brings me the most fulfillment personally and professionally, while also generating the most revenue. That's where I put my focus in on. Everything else is noise, right? And then from a personal standpoint too, what's important, right? Is going to my buddy's Halloween party more important than, spending time with my child on his first Halloween and getting him dressed up all cute and, doing all that kind of stuff, right? So,
Exactly.
right. So it's just, what's important to you. I think that it's hard to balance a lot of things. And I've said this before in a couple other podcasts, is that a mentor of mine told me that you can only pick 2 out of the 3. All right. You can't have all 3: business, friends, and family. It's hard to have all 3. It's almost impossible.
Right.
You pick 2 out of the 3. And, I didn't believe him at first, but it's the truth. It's very hard to have all 3. So yeah, so just what's important to you, really. I think that's just kind of where you find the balance. You have to learn how to say no. I think that's something that a lot of people do not understand how to do, especially nurse practitioners. You have to understand how to say no.
Right.
Yeah. Patient requests, business requests, new opportunities. It's best just to say no more times than it is to say yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So imagine right now, for example, you start this clinic, you're doing IV therapy, hormone replacement therapy, weight loss. You're spending 3 days a week. It's blowing up. You're at $70,000 a month revenue, whatever. Okay. And then let's say you start this, online autism consulting or something. Okay. Then someone comes along and says, "Hey, I got a great idea for you. I had this health spa. We do nails and, haircuts, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And we want you to come in and do hormone replacement therapy and, IV services." And you're like, okay, that sounds like a great opportunity, but how the hell do I have time for that? You have to just say no. It's not worth it. Right?
Right.
Right. So just keep that in mind as you're kind of going through this as well. Like I say no 90% of the time when people present me with opportunities anymore. I don't have the time for it. And I don't want to do it,
Right.
Yeah. Life's short.
It is. And you really have to pick and choose. I totally get that.
Yeah. You have to, you're going to go insane.
Well, and the other thing I think is if you're making the money, like us doing the IV and the weight loss, and you're making the money, then you can have enough money to open up bigger things later.
Sure. Absolutely. The opportunity is there.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it, right? You're starting to make more money. You have more time. Okay, great. Let's go into the next project because you have the time now for it. If you don't have the time though, you're just going to go insane.
Yes, exactly. And I don't want to do that.
No, it's not worth it. I will never go back to those 80-hour weeks ever again. I'm not going to do that ever again. I'm done.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, listen, this was a great episode. Lots of great stuff here. So it was a pleasure talking to you. And, I thank you for hopping on here.
Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate all of your help, and enjoy your 11-month-old son. That's a great age.
It is. He's Sleep is still kind of an issue here and there, but overall, he's fun. It's fun overall. He crawls around all over the place. He hasn't started walking yet. And I look forward to it, but I also kind of dread it.
Yeah, give it about a month. I bet you he'll be walking.
Probably. He's getting there. He's starting to get a little braver standing up and stuff. So it's very fun to watch them grow.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, hey, listen, I appreciate your help and I appreciate you hopping on here. So if you ever need anything else, just shoot me an email.
Thank you so much, Justin. Take care.
All right, you too. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Kris. A lot of good stuff there. I think the big thing is, opportunities, right? You have to navigate the opportunities very, very carefully, all right? You're going to have all kinds of people presenting you opportunities as a business owner. You're going to have people that come and go, hey, you want to help us do this? You want to do this? You want to do that? You have to navigate these things carefully. Chiropractors are notorious for taking advantage of you. Navigate those opportunities very, very carefully, okay? You're going to have vendors, marketers, all kinds of people who are going to present you various opportunities. Look at their motives, all right? Is it positive to your business? Is it positive to your life? Most of the time it's not going to be, all right? So as a business owner, opportunities will present themselves all the time. And I think the biggest thing is that you have to understand how to say no. You really do. You have to understand how to say no. If you say yes to opportunities all the time, you're just going to go insane. It's going to take away from your business. And that is critically important. If you have things that are a time drain and an energy drain, and it's taking it away from your main business, what's going to happen to your main business? It's going to suffer because of something else that's not producing, more revenue or more fulfillment, more joy. Keep this in mind as an entrepreneur. It's very, very important for your sanity and for your success. All right, hope everyone enjoys this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.